This is the Medify MA-50 Air Purifier V3.0. I just wanted to share my experience with this in case anyone else is considering it. I picked this up because I wanted something that could actually move a lot of air in a bigger space. My place isn't huge, but it's open enough that the small air purifiers I've used before felt like they were only helping in one corner of the room. With this one, I noticed the difference a lot faster, especially after cooking or on days when the air outside is smoky or dusty. Setup was simple. It's basically a plug-it-in situation, but you do have to open the bottom and take the plastic off the filter before you run it. I've forgotten that step on other purifiers in the past, so I was extra careful this time. Once it's ready, the controls are straightforward. It's a touch panel on top, and I mostly use the fan speed button, sleep mode, and the timer. I also like that it has a child lock. I don't have little kids, but I do have pets, and I've had a purifier get turned off by accident before. Here, once I lock it, it stays put. Day to day, I run it mostly on the lower speeds. That's where it makes sense for me. On the lowest setting, it's quiet enough that I can leave it on while I'm working or sleeping. I'm pretty picky about noise at night, and I can still hear it if I'm listening for it, but it blends into the background like a soft fan. Sleep mode is what I use most at bedtime because it dims the lights. I hate when appliances light up the room at night, and this one actually goes dark, which I appreciate. When I bump it up to the higher speeds, it's clearly louder. It's not a subtle sound anymore. I can watch TV with it on a medium setting, but the top speed is the one I only use when I'm not trying to relax in the same room. For me, that top speed is more like a short burst after cooking, after cleaning, or when I've had windows open and the room feels dusty. It moves air fast, and you can feel it coming out the top. It pushes the clean air upward, so it doesn't feel like it's blasting you in the legs like a box fan. It's more like the room just starts circulating. Performance-wise, I'm not sitting here measuring particles every day, but I can talk about what I notice living with it. The biggest thing for me is how it handles cooking smells and that stale apartment feeling. Light odors clear out quicker than with the smaller units I've had. With stronger smells, like fried food, it helps, but it doesn't erase it instantly. It's more like it takes the edge off and speeds up the cleanup. I also noticed less dust settling on surfaces near where I usually sit. It didn't stop dust from existing, obviously, but I was wiping less often. For allergies, I'm the type who gets itchy eyes and a stuffy nose when pollen spikes. On those days, running this in the main room helped me feel more comfortable. It's not some magical switch where everything disappears, but I did notice I wasn't reaching for tissues as much when it was running consistently. One thing I worried about before buying was whether it would be too big or too annoying to place. It's taller than the little purifiers, but the footprint is pretty compact, so it fits next to a desk or in a corner without being in the way. The downside is, it's still a tower you have to move with your hands. There aren't wheels, and it's a little awkward to grab because there's no real handle. I move it between rooms sometimes, and I kind of have to hug it from the sides. Another honest downside is filter changes. The filter is rated for about 2,500 hours, which for a lot of people ends up being around 3 to 4 months. If you run it a lot, that time goes by quickly. I also found the filter replacement to be a bit picky. When I put the new filter in, it took me a couple tries to get everything aligned so the bottom cover would close properly. It's not hard once you know what it wants, but the first time I did it, I thought I was doing something wrong. Something else to know going in. There's no auto mode here, and no air quality sensor telling you what the room is doing. I've used purifiers that change speed automatically, and it's convenient. With this one, I'm the sensor. If the room feels stuffy, or I cooked something, I turn it up. If it's a normal day, I leave it low. Personally, I'm fine with that because I like simple controls, but if you want something that thinks for you, this might feel a little basic. Compared to other air purifiers I've owned, this feels closer to the moves a lot of air category than the small bedroom ones you see everywhere. Those smaller ones are fine if you're sitting close to them or you keep them in one room, but for a living room, classroom-sized space, or an open layout, I think you start wanting something with more airflow. This one gets that part right. The trade-off, like I said, is noise when you crank it. So who is this actually good for? I think it makes sense if you have a larger main room, if you deal with smoke season, if you cook a lot, if you have pets, or if you just want to run something quietly most of the time and occasionally turn it up when you need to clear the air faster. If you're someone who really wants app control, automatic sensing, and a purifier that adjusts itself, I'd probably look at other options. If you want something that's straightforward and you don't mind manually picking a fan speed, it's easy to live with. Would I recommend it? Yeah. With the right expectations. I like it the most on low and medium, running in the background, doing its thing, and then using the highest speed only when I actually need it. If you're considering it and you're mainly worried about noise, just be realistic. Quiet on low, noticeable on high. If you're worried about maintenance, plan on staying on top of filter replacements and taking a minute to line it up correctly when you swap it. If you've got questions you want me to answer from actually using it, leave them in the comments and I'll try to help. I will update specific information about the Medify MA-50 Air Purifier V3.0 in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.